Hey guys, welcome back to Karting with Chris. Today's video is the Winter 2 race. Now, last night I did not get more than 2 hours of sleep. The reason I did not sleep very well last night is because I was up till 5 in the morning trying to get my cart fixed. So here's my cart right here, and she is probably still not ready to go, but she runs and I know she'll be able to go on track, but basically what I was doing all last night was fixing up motors. So you can see I've got a bunch of motors here. So this motor right here was the motor I planned on fixing up and rebuilding, but it turns out that the threads inside of here are not very good. So that's why it was leaking, because all 4 of these need to be torqued to a specific amount, and if one is not torqued, then it's gonna leak. So I knew that, and so I decided to do this engine instead, because the head on this engine is really good. It scored near perfect on a leak down, but it turns out that this engine has bad timing, so the timing's all messed up. And I didn't know that, so I was wrenching on it for 2.5 hours trying to get it to start, and it turns out the timing was all messed up. So I had to frantically build this motor up, and this motor looked like this one before I got it. So I basically had to put a head on it, I had to put the exhaust on, I had to hook it up to the cart, put a motor mount on it, change the oil, put a carb on it, get the clutch on. And yeah, it took me all of last night to do that. So I do apologize if today I am very slow. So my predictions today are not very good. I don't think I'm gonna be getting any podiums today. If I can get mid-pack, I'll be happy. The reason I don't think I'm gonna do very well today is because I haven't driven in 3 months. Well, I haven't driven this cart at that track in 3 months. So I'm gonna be very rusty. I think it should only take me about 1 session to relearn the track and kart. It's only 9 corners, and some of those corners are just flat out, so it shouldn't be too hard, in my opinion. But another thing is that my kart is not in perfect working order. The axle doesn't spin the way I want it to. The engine, I have no idea if this engine is good or not. I know the head is good because I just rebuilt the head, but I don't know about the rest of it because I've never driven this engine before. So that's gonna be the scenario today. We're still gonna try and have fun. That's my #1 priority, have fun.
Okay, so we're just gonna hop right into this pre-final race. I don't video the qualifying and practice sessions because usually they're pretty boring, nothing really happens, especially in qualifying where people are just basically by themselves trying to put down hot laps. So nothing really interesting happens there. But during qualifying, I qualified in 9th place out of 11 people. So for this race, I decided to go with brand new tires. It's the first race of the season. Why not start it with brand new tires? Makes sense, right? So I was able to mount the front tires. That's usually really easy. I could not, for the life of me, mount the rear tires. They just would not pop. I couldn't get the bead to pop. It's partly because I'm trying to mount 6-inch tires on 7-inch rims. That's pretty tricky, but I was not able to mount the tires. So in an effort to actually get out on track and actually race, I had to borrow one of my friend's old tires. Luckily he was not racing today, so he helped me out and let me use his tires. Shout out to Matt, thanks for your help. But yeah, I'm running brand new front tires and used rear tires. Not the best idea in the world, but that's what I'm given, so I'll take it. So for this race, there was a lot of new faces to me. I didn't know half the people in my class, which is good. I like racing new people, but I don't quite remember their names, so I'm just going to stick with their cart numbers, and I apologize if I offended anyone, but I'm just going to stick with the cart numbers. So going through the last corner here, guy in second's telling everyone to slow down a little bit. I do agree with that. I felt like we were going a little fast, and so we do slow down. And this start was pretty bad for me. So the flagman's waving green, we're good to go. You can see I was caught napping. Everyone pulls away from me. Luckily, no one jumps on the inside, and I just hold the inside very nicely. Gain 2 positions within the first corner. Looking for the inside here, get pinched a little narrow. I decide to just, let him have the corner. It's fine by me. As long as we get through the first lap all right, then we should be good to go. And we're still in 7th place, and we see number 602 looking for the move through turn 7. I'm going to try and follow him, brake late, follow him through the corner, and we're going side by side through turns 8 and 9 up here. Sadly, I have the outside. I'm not going to be able to hold the inside, and I get poor momentum coming out of turn 9 here, and the guy beside me pulls away, but we're still in 7th place. We gained 2 positions in that first lap. So one thing I noticed about today was I was very inconsistent, and that was partially due because I had not been practicing for the last 3 months. So turns like turn 3 right here, I was very inconsistent, and that's not good because then that allows people to pull away, and I'm just going to fall back. But luckily, number 605 up ahead is looking for the move through turn 7 here, and it doesn't quite work. And so I use this to my advantage. I'm going to go on the inside of turns 8 and 9 here, and we get the job done. We're up into 6th place now. And that's what can happen to you if you look for a move and you don't quite make it stick. You can start going backwards. So going down into turn 1 here, the guy behind me is pushing me, which is very nice, but then going through turn 2 here, he sends it up the inside and retakes 6th position. I wasn't too upset about this. As we go through turn 3, you can see how inconsistent I am through here. They just pull away from me. So that's a corner I really need to get better at. You can see how much time I lost, but now they are pulling away from me. One thing I did notice is that the 3 people in front of me were fighting non-stop. They kept fighting. So going through here, they're going a little side by side, and that allows me to catch up just a little bit, but not a lot. But I'm not within that slipstream, so down the straight, they're always going to pull away from me. So going through turn 1, one of the 3 people in front of me decides to have a drifting contest, and it doesn't quite work out for him. So we're going to move up into 6th place here, and now we're going to try and hunt down the 2 people in front of us. They are closer to each other, so they can work together and pull away from me. But like I said earlier, they've been battling since the beginning, and I'm not sensing that they are willing to work together. So hopefully they fight some more and I can catch up to them. One corner I did notice I'd catch up to them the most is this corner right here, turns 8 and 9. So going through here, I would catch up just a little bit, but since I'm not in that slipstream, it's not enough to gain going down the straight. But going through turn 1 here, the guy in front of me decides to pass for 4th place, and this is going to slow them down, but it wasn't going to slow them down enough for me to really catch up to them. But going through turns 3 here, they go side by side, and this has allowed me to catch up. I took turn 3 a little better here, so that's good for me. And now we're starting to get closer, and I think we might have a shot on 4th place. So we're still not quite in striking range here, but like I said earlier, turns 8 and 9 is where I really catch up. And this time I must have taken it perfectly because I'm now on the bumper of 691. I'm not quite close enough to pass him because he's also drafting the guy in front of him. But now I'm within striking range. We're on lap 6. I'm going to wait for a mistake. I'm not going to strike him just yet because if I do it wrong, then the guy in 4th can and will pull away. So we're on lap 6, and at this point I realize that the top 3 guys are too far away for us to catch up to them in time, and the people behind us are too far away for them to catch up in time unless something catastrophic happens. So this is just going to be a straight up 3-way battle for 4th. I'm going to try and have to pick and choose my way up here as I bump the guy in front of me through turns 8 and 9 here, just trying to put that pressure on, make him go into a mistake. He handles it quite well, but we're now on the second to last lap here. This is usually where the passing starts to happen, and we just got to play our cards right. So at this point, I'm starting to think, where do I want to start in the final race? So usually you want to start on the inside, which is 5th place. So I want to pass 691, and I want to stay there. But sadly, I take turn 3 absolutely horrible. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. That was a terrible corner for me.
Boo! You stink!
And I'm also starting to notice my tires are starting to fall off a little bit, which is not good. It means my tire pressures were a little high. So I should have been attacking more at the beginning and defending near the end, but it's actually turned the other way where I need to attack at the end. So we're on the last lap here, and there are gaps starting to form. The guy in 4th is a decent gap in front of the guy in 5th. It's not too big, but it's decent, and I'm not close enough to the guy in 5th. So at this point, it's kind of turned into a stalemate. So I'm going to ruin the race for you guys. Spoiler alert, the race ends like this. The gaps are too big. No one can really pass each other. So we do finish in 6th place, which if you asked me at the beginning of this race where I'd be finishing, I wouldn't have said 6th, because in qualifying I was about a second off of pole, and by the end of this pre-final I was a quarter of a second to 3/10 of a second off of the top 3 guys. So this race was a whole lot of fun. It's good to be back on track in these karts since the big long break. I do know that I made a lot of mistakes here and there, but hopefully we can take this forward progress and move it through the final race. But that's going to be in a later video, so make sure you're watching out for that. But that's all I'm going to have for today. If you liked the video, please consider subscribing. And if you have any questions, suggestions, or opinions, please comment below. Thank you guys for watching, and have a good day.